Welcome to the last episode of Solving Equations for Crimes Notes. These are still going to be equations that have variables on both sides, but we're going to run into some very specific situations. One of those situations is going to be no solution. The other situation is going to be all real numbers, and these are very specific. So for both of these situations, all real numbers and no solution, the first thing that has to happen is the variable has to cancel out. So if the variable does not cancel out, sorry, of course I forgot to turn off my phone. If the variable doesn't cancel out, then it's just going to be a normal problem. So again, under both of these, we want to put that the variable has to cancel out. And there's an easy way to recognize that. If you have an equation where it ends up with like 2m equals 2m, that's how you know it's going to cancel out. But I'll show that to you as we go through. Then for all real numbers, what we're looking for is a true conclusion. So at the very end, if what we have is true, like 6 equals 6 or 7 is greater than 5, then it's going to be true conclusion, meaning it's all real numbers. For no solution, it means that we get a false conclusion. So at the very end of the statement, we're going to get 2 equals 6 or 10 is greater than 12. Those kinds of things. So let's look at number 1 and kind of work our way through just like we would normally. So our first step is to draw the line. After we draw the line, we look for fractions, which we don't have. So then we're ready to distribute. So then 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 1, because that's what's in front, is 1. V. And then I still have minus 4v. And there wasn't anything to distribute over here, so I just bring it down. My next step is to combine like terms on sides separately. So I'm going to put plus 3v with minus 4v. So 3 minus 4 is negative 1v. And then I still have this 6, which is positive, so plus 6. And then I have v plus 16 over here. So now I need to put my v's together. So I always move my variables to the left. This one is positive, so to move it to the other side, I'm going to do the opposite. That leaves me with 6. Oops, sorry, these cancel. This would give me minus 2v plus 6. I'm a little slow this morning. And then this is 16. These did not cancel. Hopefully you didn't do it before I did. Then do minus 6, minus 6. Again, because this is you and your best friend. This is the one we're trying to get rid of. So I have negative 2v equals 10. We divide by negative 2. And I get v equals negative 5. Now, here, did the variables cancel out? No. So this was just a normal problem. Okay? So this is what most of the problems are going to look like when you're solving equations. But now let's look at number 2 and number 3, and that is where you're going to see the specific situations that I was talking about. So on number 2, we're going to draw the line. We would get rid of fractions, but we don't have any. So then we're going to distribute. So 2 times g and 2 times negative 2. So this is 2g, and then this would be minus 4, and then this is minus 4. And then on this side, if I distribute, I get 2g, and then minus 6. Now, this is that telltale sign that I was telling you to look for. If you notice, I have a 2g and a 2g, and there's no other variables. So once I simplify by putting these together, I have 2g minus 8 equals 2g minus 6. So when I go to put these two together, because I have the same one on both sides, they're going to cancel. Because if I do minus 2g minus 2g, well, 2 minus 2 is 0, so that one cancels. But over here, 2 minus 2 is 0, so that one cancels. So I don't have a variable left. So I have negative 8, which I bring down, equals negative 6. There's not a variable to get by itself. I'm at the end of the problem. So now, since the variables canceled out, I know I'm looking at either no solution or all real numbers. Well, my conclusion was that negative 8 equals negative 6. Is that a true conclusion or a false conclusion? Well, that's definitely a false conclusion. Therefore, the answer to this is going to be no solution. So I would say false, therefore, which is what these 3 dots mean, no solution. So again, the answer is not false. This is just for your thought. The answer is no solution. And you can also write that as kind of a no smoking sign. It's a circle with a line through it. All right, so let's look at the last one, number 3. Number 3, again, we draw the line. We would look for fractions. We don't have any, so we're going to go ahead and distribute. So 3 times m is 3m. 3 times 5 is 15. I bring down the minus 6. Then I distribute on the right side. So I have 3m. 3 times 3 is 9. Then I combine like terms, so I need to put these together. So I have 3m, 15 minus 6 is 9. And I have 3m minus 9. Now, here's that tell. You should be able to recognize you have a 3m and a 3m. But in this case, you actually have 3m plus 9 equals 3m plus 9. This is always going to be true. They're the exact same equation. But let's look to see what happens. So when I try to move my variables to the left, I would subtract 3m because this is positive. And when I do that, 3 minus 3 cancels. 3 minus 3 cancels. So now I have 9 equals 9. So then there's that solution without a variable. So we said if the variables cancel out, it's either no solution or all real numbers. If it's false, it's no solution. If it's true, it's all real numbers, meaning no matter what I plug in for the variable. So I could pick 12 or 2 or 0.5. I could plug anything I wanted to into this equation and I'm going to get 9 equals 9. So this is a true conclusion because 9 does equal 9. Therefore, this is all real numbers. And again, this is the answer, not the true part. You don't even have to write true. You can just think this in your head. Okay, well, this is true, so my answer is all real numbers. Okay. Now, I know I didn't leave anything for you to do, but you'll have plenty of practice on your worksheet.